what she's doing here, verbatim, what I've said she should be doing for a very long time now, is the bare minimum that I am shocked that they didn't get to already. The reason why I'm saying that is because even as a dumbass, I can see certain things that are going on and be like, why won't she communicate? Conscience. Sorry, not conscience. It's just common sense. But yeah, here. Vice President Kamala Harris on Wednesday criticized the Republican Donald Trump's promise to deport millions of people who are in the United States illegally, questioning whether he would rely on massive raids and detention camps to carry it out. Harris, the presidential nominee, told the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute's annual leadership congress that the nation can find both a pathway to citizenship for those who want to come and at the same time secure the border. We can do both, and we must do both, she said. Trump, for his part, was heading to Uniondale in New York, Long Island, as both candidates took a break Wednesday from campaigning. Harris harked back at the Trump administration's immigration policies as she bid for Hispanic support. While we fight to move our nation forward to a brighter future, Donald Trump and his extremist allies will keep trying to pull us backwards, Harris said. We all remember what they did to thank God. We all remember what they did to tear families apart, and now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history. Imagine what that would look like and what that would be. How's that going to happen? Massive raids? Okay, this is verbatim what I've said on stream like 1,000 times over. I get it. Okay, now I know why. Now I know why chatters were saying what they were saying earlier. Okay, massive raids, massive detention camps. What are they talking about? She said. Her staffers finally caught up on the VODs. Meanwhile, this is what JD Vance is doing.
Hi, Senator. Mia McCarthy with Politico. Question for you about the Haitian migrants in Springfield. So I know you've talked a lot about how we need to deport illegal aliens, but I wanted to ask you, the majority of the Haitians in Springfield came under TPS, so they are here legally. And I know you've expressed a lot of your issues with the TPS program and wanting to change that under a Trump-Vance administration. But I guess my question for you is, if you become the vice president under a Trump administration, what will you guys do about the migrants that are already there, since they did arrive legally? And a follow-up to that, if you plan to deport them, how would you do that legally?
Dude, the media should have been asking these questions like for months at this point. And the Democratic Party is absolutely at fault for this. Yeah, 54% of Americans back mass deportation of immigrants. It was higher than that like 2 months ago, by the way. 54% of respondents, 86% of Republicans, 58% of independents, and 25% of Democrats said they strongly or somewhat support a wide-scale effort to deport millions of immigrants. And 59% said they are closely following the immigration situation at the U.S.-Mexico border. They're not, okay? It used to be 60%. Now it's down to 54%. Now, I need you to understand something. People look at this poll and go, oh my God, America is so racist. And to a certain degree, yes, you're right. America is very racist. But what you also fail to consider is that these guys, once again, have no understanding of what this would look like. And the reason for why they have no understanding of what this looked like and how cruel this would be and how insane it would be is because the Democrats haven't been calling to question how this would actually be conducted. Instead, the Democrats have personally launched their own right-wing white nativist anti-immigrant sentiment in the form of legislation. Democrats have adopted the right-wing framing on the matter, which was always insane. I fear that Kamala Harris is far too late to the game and you know, switching her trajectory now. And I don't know if there's going to be enough time for her to adequately craft a narrative around it, especially when it'll be called into question. Like her policy prescriptions will be called into question. A really phenomenal time to do this would have been during the debate, because, and I've been saying this quite a bit as well, especially recently with the Haitian immigrant stuff. One of the aspects of how frustrating the Trump administration was for average Americans was the reality that Trump greatly accelerated, galvanized, emboldened some of the biggest dumbasses in our country. That is a massive, massive motivator to get people to go out and vote against Donald Trump. It's not an issue that causes like significant material harm. To advocate against the Republican Party's like endless blood libel against migrants is already both the morally correct position and also beyond that, a smart political position to take as well. But beyond that, just to simply remind people, one of the most significant aspects of the Trump administration from the eyes of like the median voter that doesn't really like to pay attention to issues at all is emboldening the dumbest people in society into feeling like their opinion is worth a damn. Do you see what I'm saying? That was an incredibly stupid time. People were just like straight up dying from COVID and still denying its existence on their deathbeds. People were getting separated from their children and being placed in concentration camps at the border, and the defenders of this unimaginably cruel policy were outwardly just being like, nah, they deserve it, brother. Shut the up. You're a pussy. Remember how shitty that felt. If you can't think about the abject cruelty on its own as a standalone problem, then think about how shitty that made you feel. Think about how angry and resentful that made you feel. That is absolutely a phenomenal anti-Trump message that she can run on. To be like, see, remember this Haitian migrant shit? It is basically a callback to all of the times that the Republicans lied about a multitude of different issues and had their followers and chirp and repeat those ridiculous lies. That's it.
Well, look, this is a media and Kamala Harris fact check that I want to clarify and clear up right now. And here's now, the media loves to say that the Haitian migrants, hundreds of thousands of them, by the way, 20,000 in Springfield, but hundreds of thousands of them all across our country, they are here legally. And what they mean is that Kamala Harris used two separate programs.
They are, though. You just don't want them to be here legally. Like, whether you recognize that they're here legally or not doesn't change the reality that they are here legally. You just want to make them illegal. You want to believe that they're illegal. That, by the way, that right there is actually the truth, which is the difference between an undocumented migrant and a documented migrant is paperwork. That's it. This is the other side of that reality. And it gets scary when you think about it from the framework of the Republicans, where they're like, well, they're here legally, but it doesn't matter. I still think they're illegal and I will take away their paperwork, versus what I say, which is they're here legally and the people here who are illegal could be made to be legal migrants.
Parole and temporary protective status. She used two programs to wave a wand and to say, we're not going to deport those people here. Well, if Kamala Harris waves the wand illegally and says these people are now here legally, I'm still going to call them an illegal alien. An illegal action from Kamala.
I just want to point to something here. Two different things that I want to mention. One, Trump blocks Venezuelans' deportation and last political gift. Two, Trump grants Venezuelans temporary legal status on his way out. Just understand that, like, a lot of the Venezuelans that came here directly as a consequence of Donald Trump's crippling sanctions on Venezuela. And not only that, but also he granted them TPS. I think part of the reason why they're hitting the Haitian stuff instead of the Venezuelan stuff any longer is because obviously Trump granted Venezuelans TPS, temporary protected status, the legal framework for them to exist inside of the U.S. boundaries without any fucking additional scrutiny. But he did also end TPS for Haitians. So now he can say, we didn't do the Haitian thing. Kamala Harris did. Having said that, however, there were already hundreds of thousands of Haitians with TPS, temporary protected status, living inside of the U.S. borders, and they continued to receive an extension on their temporary protected status under the Trump administration as well. Here it is. Haiti was initially designated on the basis of extraordinary and temporary conditions in Haiti that prevented nationals of Haiti from returning in safely. Following the initial designation, TPS for Haiti was extended and redesignated once from July 23, 2011 through January 22, 2013, based on the extraordinary and temporary conditions. Thereafter, TPS for Haiti was extended 4 times based on extraordinary and temporary conditions, 2013 to 2014, 2014 to 2016, 2016 to 2017, and from 2017 to 2018. Subsequently, the Secretary announced the termination of the TPS designation of Haiti effective on 2019. So Trump both extended the TPS status to Haitian migrants and then revoked it. Okay, but this has been an ongoing temporary immigration status that has been afforded to victims of major conflicts for a very long time. It's not new. And Trump did this as well. Trump also happened to take away the TPS status of Haitians, for the record. But once again, he definitely did not do so for Venezuelans. So when these dipshits talk about the magic wand, what they fail to mention, or what they fail to acknowledge, is that they've also waved that magic wand. Anyway, here, the Democrats are changing their messaging a little bit, finally going back to the old school Democratic Party, which was still not good enough, but at least it wasn't like overtly racist and also completely captured by right-wing interests.
Yes, let me be clear. We believe in an immigration system that reflects our values. We don't demonize immigrants. We don't single them out for attacks. We don't believe they're poisoning the blood of the country. We're a nation of immigrants, and that's why we're so damn strong.
It shouldn't have taken them to get to this point only after like Republicans try to do pogroms in Springfield, Ohio by doing blood libel on Haitian immigrants. It's ridiculous. Like, Republicans are going full Nazi on the timeline, and the dumbass Democrats only now are like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should say something about this. Anyway, that's the reason why I'm riding with Biden, though, because he's brave enough to say these truthful things like America's a nation of immigrants. Like you said, they're finally taking advantage of this as a campaigning opportunity. I know, it's so insane that it has taken this long. It's so goddamn frustrating. Anyway, I'm riding with Biden because he did NATO.
Now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history. Imagine what that would look like and what that would be.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve.
Okay, dude. One of the funniest things is, yeah, we got liberals going, your best fit is ambivalent right, along with 12% of the public. Shocked to find out that a Kamala Harris supporter is ambivalent right. Anyway, these poll results about respondents saying that they would love for mass deportations to happen in this country are correct. It's a correct snapshot that reflects how far right we've moved on this issue. But these polls can change, and they do change. And the only way they change is either A, if the Democrats launch successful counter messaging against this, as I've been begging for them to do so for months, for years, and especially so in the last couple of months. And then beyond the successful counter messaging, the alternative is once these policies are implemented, only then do Americans recognize the cruelty of such policies and the devastating impact that such policies might have in the economy in general. That's the problem. A lot of these dumb including liberals, including centrists, including independents, don't actually think about the outcome. They just hear something. They hear it over and over again. They think to themselves, oh my God, immigrants are doing insane crimes, I believe. And it's not like the Democrats are saying the opposite. So I'm willing to believe that myself, that immigrants are doing massive crimes. And then they see the polls, especially after they see the polls of like 62% of the public saying like they want mass deportations. There is no counter messaging for it whatsoever. They go along with it out of the fear that they have, the fear that like, oh, people really want this. So then it actually ends up happening. And only then people go, oh shit, maybe it wasn't such a good idea. This happened under Trump as well. This literally happened in between the time frame of 2016 and 2020. People genuinely despise Donald Trump's immigration policies. Why did they despise it? Because they were separating children from their family members at the border and then using those children as a honeypot to catch additional migrants. They were doing dragnets. They were doing mass deportations. And the Democrats, because they were in no position of power, were behaving like the little radicals they are when they're far removed from power. All of the independent thinkers that love watching American TV and love, paying close attention to politics in general are just bots that repeat whatever television man tells them. They do not think on their own about the impact of such policies. They do not think on their own about like the veracity of the claims being made on television about criminal migrants, especially when there's no one on the other side of the duopoly saying, where are you getting this criminal migrant shit from, dumbass? You just made it the up. You made it up because they did. They hyper focus on anecdotes, and those are very emotional. Those are very emotionally charged anecdotes, and the Democrats are too scared to oppose it. They can't just be like, dude, what are you talking about? 20,000 homicides occurred on U.S. soil. You're talking about 24 homicides? Are you insane? We actually want to curb back homicides. You very clearly don't give a shit about it. It seems to me the only thing you don't like about the homicides is that it's not a natural born U.S. citizen doing it. Okay, that's the only time it seems to be in the wrong. Republicans only care about murder or rape when it's a non-American doing it, clearly. And when that's not enough, when they still want to push the needle further, they just start making extra shit up. Like, oh, they're eating your cats and dogs. They're eating your pets. It's crazy. These are the very same people, if polled, would also, without even a shred of recognition for the irony, would say they are for mass amnesty. I'm letting you know right now, I know for a fact that if you were to ask every single one of these people, do you think there should be a pathway to citizenship for people who have, been inside of the U.S. borders for however many years, as long as they have no criminal background, they would say absolutely. And they do. They pull this shit, and you see it in the anecdotes as well. You see this in the anecdotes. Like, there'll be Trump supporters who are like, yeah, my mom is undocumented. Build the wall. But also, my mom should be allowed inside the wall and become a citizen. It's like, okay, that's weird. Why did you just... What? Like, those two things are at odds with one another, but okay. Anyway, something to consider. What? What did you say about this? I didn't see vids in your highlight channel.
And that...
What do you mean? I did cover it when it happened. It's not that big of a deal. It's only not that big of a deal that Richard Lowry said the N-word, because he basically writes it out in every article that he writes without actually saying the N-word. That's the reason why you probably didn't see a highlight, even though I did cover it. It would be a bigger deal to me, at least. It would be a bigger deal to me, at least, if he wasn't saying it.